Welcome to Creating Stuff. My name is Jim. Today in the shop, I am back working on my Inferno truck build, and if you saw the previous episode, I made a lot of progress where I could actually put the truck in gear and actually turn the rear wheels. And now I really need to make sure the transmission works in all gears, and I really need to drive the truck. In order to do that, I have to put brakes on it. So behind me, this pile of boxes. So I have a whole bunch of parts. Is where in this episode I'm going to be putting brakes, hooking the power steering up, and yeah, I think those are the two big things I'm going to do. And in the end of this episode, I will be taking Inferno for a test drive. So that is really, really exciting. I can't express that. So, but the things I got to do in this episode is I got a few custom things we got to do, or I have to do. Is the big one is on the rear axle, since you saw how many episodes ago that I converted it from a Dodge bolt pattern to an 8 on 170 millimeter Ford bolt pattern, is I have to re-drill the rotors as well. So that's one of the biggest modifications I have to do. Other than that, all it is straight mechanic work, just putting rotors, calipers, brake pads on, doing a few other miscellaneous stuff while I'm in there. And I have to do a modification with the master cylinder. I'll go over that. And then the biggest part is I have to run all new brake lines. There are all the factory brake lines have been ripped out of this truck when I did the suspension work. So I have to run all new lines, new rubber lines, new hard lines, new everything. And then also I'm gonna be hooking the power steering up. And that should be relatively straightforward. Is basically I'm using a ready-made kit that's available, mainly used on Tacomas when they swap a straight axle in and they put an IFS Tacoma steering box from the early trucks into a Tacoma. So all the parts are off the shelf, and although I do have a more complicated steering system planned for this truck, I do plan to add a hydro assist steering cylinder to it. But unfortunately, not right now. It's more important that I at least have working power steering, and so I can drive this truck. And then at a later date, I'm going to build the much bigger hydraulic system for the steering. So I'll tell you what, let me just quit yakking and let me just get into it. All right, to start this off, I think I'm going to go ahead and hook the power steering up. This is a kit that's available through Trail Gear. High pressure hose and a return line, and then it also comes with a series of fittings. So we have one fitting that's going to go on the power steering pump, and then have another fitting that goes down onto the steering box, and basically going to convert from an inverted flare to a number 6 JIC. These are actually standard hydraulic fittings. And once again, when I do my big system, redo the system, I've got some insider tricks on hydraulics that I'm going to share with everybody, which some people know, but I'm going to share it regardless. So I tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and put this stuff in. Well, I got it all hooked up. The routing may not look the prettiest. I just want to make sure this works before I zip tie everything down. And once again, this is just kind of putting together kind of rough, because I'm going to redo this when I do the hydro assist. So got a belt on it, and once again, stuff's not looking the prettiest, but it is what it is for right now. And because unknown if this power steering is a used power steering pump. I don't know if it's any good, and the box is used. I don't know if the box is any good. So we're going to find out a lot of stuff. So I'll tell you what, let me go ahead and put some fluid in this thing and see what happens. All right, well, it took a couple times to get the hydraulic system bled out because that's just because it has such a small reservoir. Meaning as soon as the pump picks the fluid up, reservoir is empty, I got to shut the truck off, fill it up again. It's just what it is. It's just what you got to do. So pump works good. Pump sounds decent. Still have a little bit of air. It's going to slowly work out over time. Steering box is working. I'm real happy with that. This is, once again, this is another very big milestone for Inferno. So tell you what, I'm going to keep on going. I'm going to move to the brakes next. All right, the first order of business on putting brakes on Inferno is if you go back a couple of videos where I changed the bolt pattern on the rear axle, I actually have to re-drill these rear rotors to accept the different bolt pattern. And to do that, I'm going to use this. You might remember from that episode. This is the template I had made, and the good news is the rotor, not as critical as the hub, because the rotor is piloted on the hub through this piece this center bore right here. So that will keep it centered. So I got a little bit of wiggle room on drilling these holes. But once again, just like on the hubs, I'm going to center the ring on this. Use a transfer punch on the small 1/4-inch holes to mark where my holes go. Then I drill the holes. And then the beauty part about this is I can keep this, the transfer punch, and a couple of drill bits in my toolbox with my truck. So for some odd reason, if I'm on the other side of the country and I tear a rotor up and I got to replace a rotor, I can actually re-drill this with a hand drill if I had to. I mean, not desirable, but I can. So with this tool, if I carry this tool with me, it's very easy to re-drill a replacement rotor whenever I need to. So that's the whole purpose behind that. Well, I'm not going to bore you with drilling a bunch of boring holes, so I'll bring you back and keep you up with some interesting stuff. So I need to get to work. All right, I got both rear rotors re-drilled to the proper bolt pattern. So they are all ready to go. So now all I gotta do is put the truck up in the air, take some tires off, and start doing some mechanic work. Well, before I put the truck up in the air, I'm going to take care of something real quick. Well, hopefully it's real quick. Is I have to address something with the brake master cylinder. And also, I took the clutch pedal out. This is kind of a rarity for me because I'll be honest, I've done more automatic to manual conversions than the other way around. All honesty, I think this is the first time I've ever taken a manual transmission out and put an automatic in its place. But this truck's not going to need this where it's going. So, but anyways, but this master cylinder is not going to work with the brakes that I have. So let me go ahead and pull this off, and I'm going to explain to you why it won't work. Well, it'll work, but not the best. So let me get it off, and I'm going to explain to you why. Alright, I got the master cylinder out of the truck. This is the master cylinder out of the 92 Toyota pickup, and this is the master cylinder I plan to use. This is out of a mid-80s square body Chevrolet 1-ton pickup truck. Anyways, you can tell one very big difference is the size of these master cylinders. Very noticeably different. And now the biggest difference of them all is we're going to look at this center section right here, because this one is 1.1 inch, 1.33. So what that means is this piston is a lot larger diameter. So, and it's a much larger diameter, and so what that does is this master cylinder was matched to the original Toyota axles. Since I put 1-ton axles underneath this truck, the calipers are a lot bigger. So since they're a lot bigger, they take more fluid. So this is very simple hydraulics. So if you have, if you push on one piston that's the same size as the one on the other side, they move the same amount. But unfortunately, what happened was since the 1-ton axles have bigger brakes,
the brakes calipers are a lot larger. So basically, if you use this cylinder, it will work. And all honesty, you might even get more brake power, just because with the smaller piston here and the larger piston in the calipers, you would actually get a mechanical advantage, and you would actually probably get more brake power than this. The only downside is, since this actually has to move farther now because it has to move more fluid, by the time you build up pressure, you're going to be at the bottom of your stroke. Normally, on a normal vehicle, the top third of the pedal is basically where the pedal should hit solid when you build up pressure. Where this, you'll probably go more than 3/4 of the way down before before it builds pressure. So anyways, so that's why I'm going to be using this master cylinder, which, like I said, this is out of a square body Chevrolet 1 ton from the 80s. So, and luckily, once again, there's a company out, Trail Gear does make an adapter. Pretty neat. That, and this bolt's got a couple studs you got to put in there, extend the rod, and this adapter, I can put this master cylinder on my existing brake booster. Makes it pretty easy. And for what little bit this costs, it's not worth making anything when you can just once again, you don't get a medal for doing it the hard way. And we got we got bolts to attach it, and then we got this piece to extend the rod to take up the difference of this. So tell you what, let's go ahead and get this bolted on, and then we'll get the truck up in the air. Well, it's nice to have something easy for once in a while. So master cylinder's on. So let's get this truck up in the air and get some tires off.
All right, well, tell you what, this is just some pure mechanic work, so I will bring you back when I have something to show you. So see you in a bit. All right, here's a little bit of work got done. I went ahead and put some new locking hubs on it because one was missing the dial, and it stayed locked in all the time. So I went ahead and put new locking hubs on. I just got some cheap $50 ones. I will probably put worn hubs on it before it's all said and done with. But anyways, I just did these for now. I will be changing these actual unit bearings, the hubs, when I re-gear the axle. There's no need to do it right now. I'd like to, but once again, everything's coming apart when I go to re-gear and put the locker in this. So this is just simple brakes, just like it was a F-250. Factory brake hose. That's just dangling for now, and then when we're going to come to the back, and the re-drilled hubs worked phenomenal. They actually worked great. So like I said, I'm pretty happy with that. Once again, just factory brakes, nothing fancy, factory brake hoses. And once again, as I have said before, the biggest thing about building this truck is I'm trying to use as many off-the-shelf parts as possible. Brakes are a high wear, high failure item. So basically all these calipers, rotors, hoses, I can go to any auto parts store and buy them. That's the purpose of doing this versus getting custom stuff made. I'm trying to do that whenever possible. And once again, when it comes to suspension leaks and I don't have a choice on that. But once again, this stuff doesn't fail very often. And when it comes to all my links and my Johnny joints, I have a plan for that. Or actually, I do have a plan for that. And if you stick around and
follow me in the future, all that will make sense when I get there. So, and once again, the biggest thing that is not factory is the bolt pattern in these rotors. But as I showed you earlier, I have that template where I can mark them. And like I said, if a rotor got tore up and I was out in, say, Washington State or California, and I had to change a rotor, I could go buy, this is just a factory rotor for a rear axle of a 2002 2500 Ram pickup truck, and put the template, mark the holes, drill the holes, and I'm good to go. So anyways, that's the purpose and all that. So, but now I have to get to the part that I'm probably least looking forward to. I have to run all the hydraulic lines, all the steel lines, rubber lines. So not looking forward to this. But tell you what, I'm gonna dive into this. I'm gonna get some work done, and then I'm gonna bring you back, and I'm gonna show you what I came up with. So, all right, well, let me get back to it. All right, I have been tinkering a little bit. I've started running some hard lines, which I'm still waiting for some more fittings. That particular fitting right there was a little hard to find, but I got one. Anyways, started running some hard lines, and now I'll show you some other stuff I got. Well, and how I said I was trying to keep everything off the shelf as much as possible. Sooner or later, you have to meet in the middle somewhere, because all the flexible rubber lines I was planning on running. I was trying to, like, I was trying to use some Dodge or some Ford parts, something that, like I said, I get at an auto parts store. Custom made stuff would be ideal, but I didn't want to use them because, like I said, they have to be custom made every time, so I have no chance of finding one. Well, unfortunately, I couldn't find what I needed, so I had to land in the middle. These are not custom. These are actually from a trailer shop, basically, because boat trailers and stuff like that do have hydraulic brakes. So basically, they sold these rubber brake lines in ready-made, different lengths. You can get them 18 feet long if you wanted them, but so I just got 4 1-foot rubber hoses to go from the axle up the upper link, and then then they also sold these union blocks, so from either caliper can join in the middle right at the upper link, and then the hose can go in there, go up the upper link, and then all the way up to the master cylinder. So once again, these were compromised. They're not, like I said, they're not off like a Ford or a Dodge or a Chevy. They're universal, but once again, if I blow one, damage one, I have to replace it. I should be able to go to a trailer supply shop, trailer supply store, and I should be able to find some universal stuff like this. So, anyways, like I said, had to meet in the middle. I got a bunch of unions, and I got a bunch of hard brake line, and tell you what, let me go ahead and put the truck up in the air, and I'll show you what my plan is, and go from there. Alright, here's a closer peek of what I got going on underneath. This is a factory brake hose for the Dodge rear end. It works out well. I welded a 1/4-inch bolt and was able to secure that. Going to run a hard line all the way over, and then same thing on the other side. And basically, this T-fitting and the universal hose I got, I'm going to secure that right there so I can run the rubber line up the upper link. I'll go to a hard line and then go back to a rubber line to go over the other joint, and then I'm going to secure them to the link. I'm going to make some I'm going to 3D print some brackets that are going to hold this on with a hose clamp. A lot of people will weld the fittings on it, but I don't want to just because I like to be able to adjust my link, so I can just loosen the mounts, adjust the link, and then tighten the link up, and then tighten the mounts back up. So just me personally, just how I like to do it. So tell you what, I probably go ahead and set a time lapse up, and I'm gonna start plumbing this rear brake lines in. So let me get to it. All right, here we go. I got some hard lines run. This one ended up a little bit on the goofy side, but I can live with that for the time being. So got this run, got that one run. I got the T right there. Flexible. These are zip tied temporarily. I do plan to make much better mounts for these, and you will see those in the very extremely near future. Tied up there, and it's loose up there. So made some nice little bit of progress. So I tell you what, I'm just going to keep on grinding away at it. I'm going to do the same thing on the front suspension. Run the lines, tee it off, go up the upper link, and then I have to finish running that line and join the line from the master cylinder. So tell you what, I'm going to keep on getting it. So see you in a bit. All right, here is a little update. I got the lines for the rear axle run up the upper link, and I just wanted to point out on how I've made the comment on how 3D printers are awesome. Is see this little piece right here, fits nice around the link, has a little pocket for the line to go through, hose clamp holds it in place. I like that. I like that a lot. And like I said, this is just 3D printed for now. I'm debating about making it out of aluminum, but this is not the final version because I'm running the hydraulic line, and I still have an air line that's going to come down here for the air locker eventually that I'm going to put in the rear axle. So I'm going to run the air line along with this, so I'll probably make pockets for the air line as well. So unfortunately, we'll see how this turns out. I've got a couple more of these for the front. I still have to make the mount for that one up there and then tie it into the line coming off the master cylinder. And let me go show you a little something on the front. And I got my front lines made on the axle. I got the T right there. Once again, I'm going up the upper link. I have two more of these that I'm going to secure that. And then I got to tie in, once again, that all the way over there to the master cylinder. So I'm going to keep on getting it. I'll bring you back when I got something to show you. Well, I got the brakes all hooked up. I got them bled. I feel like I've got good brake pedal. So now I just have to currently I I have the truck up in the air, tires off the ground. So let's see if this thing still starts. Put on the brake, drive. Well, kind of working. All right, I made a mistake. Number one, I didn't even have the transfer cases in gear. So then now I got my foot on the brake, foot off the brake, foot on the brake. I still gotta get the vacuum hose for the brake booster. Other than that, I gotta stand on them. So anyways, all right, this is working. So I think I'm gonna try to drive the thing around in front of the garage a little bit. Well, how did you like that? Isn't that amazing? Inferno has finally moved under its own power. So, I mean, this is really exciting. This has been a lot of hard work to get to this point. Unfortunately, I would like to say, I wish the project would be done, but unfortunately, I'm barely scratching the surface. I got so much more to do. I can't even begin. I have a lot more I got to do to this truck. So, but for this one, for right now, the brakes work. I'm amazed. I only had one leak I had to take care of. The amount of fittings I put in the hydraulics of the brake. I thought I've been fighting a lot of leaks, but I had one, tighten the fitting up, leak was done. That was great. So I still have to secure some lines on the underside of the truck. I need to clean all that stuff up. I'm gonna do that off camera. And the only performance-wise I have with the brakes so far is rear brakes aren't working as much as I'd like them to. And that's gonna be something that I'm gonna have to tinker with as time goes on. Ultimately, when I get to the final curb weight of the truck, that's when I'm going to do a lot of the tuning, and if I have to do something different with the brakes, I may address it at that point. But now I can actually safely just start the truck up, move it around. It is idling a little high. Like I said, there's a few tweaks I got to take care of, but regardless of all that, this is a great big success. Also, that little bit I drove it around, I don't have much more room than that here at my property, so I can't get up any real speed to test anything. So you're gonna have to tune into the next episode where I'm gonna take Inferno to some private property where I have some room where I can, not on a public road, but on a private road where I can get up to speed. I can test my suspension, test my alignment, just see how everything works. And before I'll do all that, I actually got to charge nitrogen in the shocks. The shocks aren't even working right now because I don't have any nitrogen in them. But that's going to be coming on to the next episode. So I hope you like the content I put out for you, because ultimately I do all these videos for you because I hope you get ideas, or you get an idea what not to do, whatever it is. My whole goal is just to inspire somebody else to tackle something that they've never done. So, but if you like the video, please subscribe, and tell you what, I will see you on the next one.